Hey guys, welcome back into the OddsShopper YouTube channel. My name's Geoff Ulrich. In this video, we're going to be talking a little bit of NBA action and specifically about No House Advantage. We're going to be talking about their versus the house contest. We're going to be creating some, or trying to create some parlay style multiplier tickets on No House Advantage using the props over there. Again, on No House Advantage, when you're playing versus the house, you can create your own tickets there. You can create your own payout structure as well. They have varying payouts for each kind of style of ticket you're making, up to 20x on a ticket that has 5 different parlays. So again, lots of different things to check out on No House Advantage. And with the versus the house contest, you can kind of create your own adventure here. If you only want to put a couple props in, get a smaller payout, you can. If you want to put 4 or 5 props in and go for that big multiplier payout, you can do that too. I'm going to give you about 4 props in this video. We're going to be talking about a couple different games on this Sunday slate for NBA. So that's basically what we're going to be doing here for the next little bit in this video. But couple different things about No House Advantage too to drop. If you're new to the site, use promo code Stochastic when you're signing up. It gives you a $50 match deposit bonus right off the top. It's great if you just want to try out the versus the house contest, make a couple different parlay tickets. That's going to give you a chance to do more of that with the deposit bonus as well. Great bankroll building thing too to take advantage of. Promo code Stochastic when you're new to signing up there. And you can also have free projections over on Stochastic.com, our sister site here on OddsShopper that you can use to check out free projections for all the different slates, NBA and NFL as well. So, that's a very, very useful tool over on Stochastic.com. We're going to be leaning on them a little bit for this video as well. So, again, a couple different ways to play. Also, the Pick'em contest on No House Advantage, which is more of a DFS thing. You're creating your own prop-based style DFS lineups, putting them in contests against other players. We're going to be focusing in on the versus the house stuff here, specifically the versus the house props on No House Advantage. So we got all that out of the way. We got a Sunday slate here with some, a decent slate across about 8 games on the NBA, which is pretty typical for Sunday. Nothing too crazy. Still going up against the NFL, obviously, in terms of viewership. So we're going to be focusing in specifically on a couple different games because I definitely want to talk about this Brooklyn Nets Boston Celtics game. Should be interesting, and we do have a very close point spread here, which I kind of like. I like that for the Stars in this game. It's 231.5. We got decent implied team totals on each side. Boston's favored by 3, obviously on the road there in Brooklyn. So pretty much everyone is healthy for this game. And I like looking at the Brooklyn side specifically. I mean, I think we got a couple different props that we can take advantage of, especially for our No House Advantage, when we're creating these tickets. So Kyrie Irving is really interesting. We're getting a 2.5 3-point prop up on Irving for the versus the house contest. Now, this is interesting for a couple different ways. You could look at Kyrie Irving and say, well, I mean, he's actually been pretty good of late. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's actually been shooting the ball pretty good. But if you look at his 3-point attempts, I mean, he's outside of one game where he attempted 10 3-pointers like last week. He's actually been pretty just kind of quiet from beyond the arc. He hasn't been attempting a ton of threes lately. His last 3 games, he's attempted 6 or less threes. We don't know Kyrie as like the most legit 3-point shooter in the world. He can obviously get hot from beyond the arc, but he's also playing a Boston team who's pretty good at defending the 3-pointers. They've been a little bit lax defensively, allowing quite a few points this year, Boston in spots, but they've started to pick up the pace a little bit. They've allowed the 8th fewest 3-pointers against. So good perimeter defense. You got Kyrie Irving, who's not really shooting the ball that much from beyond the arc of late. And you got a 2.5 3-point prop. I like that. I like going under on this to start. I think Kyrie's probably going to get his points here. He's obviously playing Boston, but good perimeter defense and Kyrie really doing it more just as more of like, taking to the basket than anything, getting his points. So give me under Kyrie Irving, 2.5 3-pointers to start here. And let's stick with the Brooklyn side of the ball because I do like Kevin Durant in this spot and almost considered going over on his points. I don't even think that's necessarily a bad prop to take tonight. He's been really solid. I mean, you look at Kevin Durant's points of late. He's had 1 game with under 30 points in each of his last 5 starts. He's coming off a bit of a slow game in his last start, but that was against Toronto, a slower paced team. I wouldn't be shocked if he rebounded here, but what I like doing on Kevin Durant here is going over on his rebounds. It's a 6.5 rebound prop. This is pretty low for Kevin Durant. His average rebounds are down a little bit this year, but he's actually picked up the pace rebounding in his last 5 or 6 games as well. So I think that the season stats on Durant we're more of just a product of kind of a slow start, especially for the rebounding prop. He's still averaging 6.7 rebounds per game this year. And we got a 6.5 rebound prop up. So with the way he's been trending, I like going over on the 6.5 rebounds. Again, you kind of got to just look at this game from a bigger, perspective as well. It's a close point spread. Durant's going to be on the floor a ton. Should be a ton of rebounding opportunities up until the end of the game. I think Durant goes over this. He's been a really consistent rebounder of late. He's actually gone over this prop in 4 of his last 6 games as well. So give me over Kevin Durant, 6.5 rebounds as well. We'll pair that with our under on Kyrie threes. And that's where we'll get our Brooklyn exposure. I like the spot for targeting both those players tonight. All right, let's move to another game. We're going to be focusing in on just a couple games in this video today. But we got the Phoenix Suns and San Antonio Spurs. This is another one I definitely like focusing in on. We should see a ton of points here. We really should. The Phoenix Suns have about a 120 implied team total. They're favored by 10, but it's on the road. So, I think this is a really good scenario just for a lot of points. I think that, Phoenix is going to score theirs, but it's not necessarily going to lead to a blowout scenario where, all the San Antonio Spurs players get pulled or anything like that. And I think that'll be really good for Devin Booker, who quite frankly has just been on fire of late. You look at Devin Booker, he's attempted 25 or more field goals in each of his last 4 games. And on those field goals, he's made, over his last 3 games, he's scored 40 points or more. So, I mean, this is not a player who I necessarily want to start fading right now. And I would say, even with his point total here, which is juiced up, it's 32.5. It's a big one. I think you lean over. You have to sit back and look at the opponent here in San Antonio. They're one of the bottom teams in terms of just pure defense. I mean, they're actually allowed the most points against this year. We've got a closer point spread than I think people realize. It's 10 points, but that's not necessarily going to put us into blowout territory on the road, I think. And I just think Devin Booker is just going to be a player with Chris Paul out that, he's going to handle the ball so much that those field goal attempts will be there, especially when he's in this kind of form. I look for another big game for Devin Booker, and I do think he goes over this total. So we're going to take the over 32.5 points in what is just a fantastic matchup. I don't think this is the spot to start fading Devin Booker. Maybe when we get him in a tougher matchup, you do it, but not today. I don't think that's the spot here. Not with the Suns having such a good team total and in such a good spot against a team like the Spurs. Faster paced game, bad defense. Devin Booker's going to get all the points tonight. All right, let's talk about one more prop here, and let's stick with this game. Let's go to the other side of the ball, because if I do think Devin Booker's going to have a good game, it means that some of these Spurs players need to pop up a little bit and just keep this semi-close. And I do think this is a good bounce back spot for Keldon Johnson. Again, this is a player who we tailed a lot at the start of the year. He was shooting the ball a lot, and he's still shooting the ball a lot. And that's fine. He's gone a little bit cold, and his points have reflected that. He's had under 20 points now in 3 of his last 4 games. But, like I said, the field goal attempts have been there. I mean, this is a player who's attempted 20 or more field goals in each of his last 4 games as well. So the shooting isn't gone. I mean, he's still shooting the ball a lot. He's still taking a lot of threes. He's just had a few cold games, and I think it's a good spot to jump back on him. He's 21.5. Devin Booker out there defensively, probably going to be more guarding like Devin Vassell, who's been the better scorer of late. But Keldon Johnson, we know he's going to shoot the ball. We got a game here where, the Suns going to put a lot of pressure on the Spurs. I think you're going to get a lot of quick shots from Keldon Johnson. And I think that's going to lead him to going over here. So I like this as a bounce back spot. I think you're buying the dip a little bit. The tendency, if you're looking at his recent game log, is to say this player's just gone a little bit cold. Maybe he was just outperforming. But I think that with the volume that he's shooting at, with the game environment that he's going to be in today, I think we go over 21.5 points for Keldon Johnson Jr. We still have him projected as a very solid player here. And just a player who's going to take a ton of shots for San Antonio. Because quite frankly, no DeJounte Murray. And we've seen, the shooting is very kind of condensed for San Antonio with a couple different players. So Keldon Johnson Jr. over 21.5 points. We're going to go that as our final prop. So quick recap here, guys. Only touched on a couple games today, but sometimes that's good for props. Keeps us focusing in on a couple good spots. And I do like the spot for Brooklyn. We're going to go under Kyrie Irving, 2.5 threes. Again, tougher matchup there on the perimeter. And then we're going to go over Kevin Durant, 6.5 rebounds. He's been rebounding solid, going to play a ton of minutes tonight. We're going to go over 32.5 points for Devin Booker. I think you just keep riding this hot hand for at least one more game. And we're going to go over Keldon Johnson, 21.5 points from the same game. Again, I think you're going to get a fast-paced game there. Lots of points on both sides. for Phoenix and San Antonio. I think Keldon Johnson bounces back tonight. So it's going to be our 4 props we discussed here on OddsShopper. Make sure you smash that like button, guys. Subscribe to the OddsShopper YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. There's more great videos. There's just a ton of great videos across all the sports here on OddsShopper. We love giving out picks. Lots of great experts across all the major sports. Make sure you check out Stokastic.com for free projections for Noah's Advantage as well. You can use promo code Stokastic on Noah's Advantage if you're new to the site for a $50 match deposit bonus as well. It's a great way to build a bankroll. Most important thing, guys, have yourselves a great Sunday of NBA action. My name's Geoff Ulrich. We'll talk to you again soon.